everybody. Welcome back to Dork Lords. We're talking Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 6, Blood of My Blood. Amber, first impressions.
It's brought back characters that have been missing for a while. So it's nice to finally have, like, Uncle Benjen back and Catelyn's brother back. So then now we know what happened to them, instead of them just disappearing into limbo.
Good point, good point. And yeah, the Benjen reveal was probably the coolest reveal, maybe, of the episode.
Yeah, and him showing up like that and saving Bran and...
Spoilers. Okay, again, I've said it. Great, awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
If you're watching this and you don't realize there are spoilers, that's on you.
Yeah, got it. So yeah, so we've got Bran. They've just Hodor.
Yes.
They're being followed still. Looks like all is lost. Mm-hmm. Benjen shows up.
Yes.
Who I'm sure you, the viewer, know this, but Benjen is Ned Stark's brother, and season 1 went off north of the Wall and disappeared, and we have now seen that he has been north of the Wall all this time.
And he's part White Walker.
Like he was.
I couldn't understand. So the children saved him from
he was
becoming...
killed. He was stabbed by a White Walker.
Right.
Theoretically, would have turned into a white or something.
Right.
And they saved him by stabbing him again with dragon glass. I don't know.
Like
that's a thing.
It's like they stopped the bleeding, or kind of like I couldn't understand
somehow the dragon glass keeps the transformation from happening.
Right. So he's got a piece of dragon glass inside of him.
Maybe.
And that's stopping him from becoming...
They have like a big surgical team. They have like the Children of the Forest hospital.
They live underground. There could quite possibly be a huge bunker with a nice sterile hospital filled with dragon glass.
All the latest. They got IV bags and they've got like little boop, boop, boop machines. So one thing interesting about that was it seemed like he was connected to the Three-Eyed Raven. I mean, Three-Eyed Raven's dead now, but... Like he's like, oh yeah, Three-Eyed Raven sent me or something like that.
Yeah, like he's been working with a Three-Eyed Raven for Bran's purposes.
So it makes me think like maybe Three-Eyed Raven and the children were like, that's a Stark. Let's keep an eye on that guy. Like maybe, you know what I mean? Like maybe his last name and bloodline saved him in that moment.
Yeah, maybe. And, I mean, I'm glad they did because I liked Uncle Benjen. And
yeah.
I think
he's a likable character.
We're finally bringing characters together to work with each other.
And it's another Stark who's not dead.
Yes.
So that's cool.
Yes. I'm all for it because and I was actually thinking about it when I was watching it. There really aren't that many dead Starks. There's only 3 dead Starks.
You're right. When you really
out of like 10, but it kind of feels like alive. It
feels like they're all getting dinked.
Yeah, but all the children except for Robb are still alive.
So right, and they're coming together. We'll talk a little bit more about Arya a little later. But okay, so you mentioned Catelyn's brother.
Yes.
Who I'm forgetting his name at the moment. Edmund?
Let's call him Eddie.
Sure, Eddie. Uncle Eddie. Uncle Eddie was at the Red Wedding. Was one of the few people not killed at the Red Wedding.
And I just sort of always assumed he was killed.
Right, but instead he was imprisoned, apparently, by Walder Frey.
Yes, but crazy Walder Frey, the most uncomfortable man next to Ramsay Bolton.
Man, that guy.
Don't you feel creepy watching him on screen? He's just so Filch from Harry Potter.
Right, yes. Another Harry Potter reference. We talked about Tonks before.
Yes.
Tonks is dead. Frey's days are probably numbered, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, he's got a couple of big armies coming his way.
Yeah.
The Lannisters are heading towards him, and I think with him bringing Catelyn's brother out, they're going to use him as some sort of bargaining chip.
Right, and so we know he's basically told his sons, like, go get River Run back, because Blackfish has taken River Run. And we have seen scenes from next week's episode in which Jaime Lannister is at River Run talking to Blackfish.
Right.
So there's a whole lot, and we know also that Sansa is headed that way.
Yes.
So there's a confluence of folks showing up at River Run around the same time.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the major battle of this season.
You don't think it'll be at Winterfell? You think it's going to be at River Run?
I think it's going to be at River Run.
Yeah.
I don't see them getting ready to take over Winterfell. I don't feel like anybody's... I think if they go to Winterfell, it'll be to rescue Rickon.
Right. So you're in your analysis of it, perhaps Ramsay survives this season. I'm thinking he was going to be dead this season, but
kind of something. Maybe he's dead. Jon Snow kills him when they're trying to rescue Rickon.
Okay.
But I think that they agree that they don't have enough people to take on Ramsay's.
I mean, there are only 4
army.
episodes left. How much can you do, right?
Right.
You start counting the hours, the minutes that are left in this season, and suddenly Ramsay's odds of surviving season 6 are starting to go up
Yeah.
a little bit. I thought for sure he was doomed,
I
and
thought so
delightfully
too,
so. But yeah, he might actually make season 7. Like,
Yeah. Like when they were laying out, well, how many wildlings do you have that could fight? There's only like 2,000.
Right.
There's not anybody in
It's
the
the Knights of the
Watch.
Vale. It's going to be them.
Right, and so I don't think that Jon Snow has enough power to take back Winterfell yet.
All right.
And I think that when they get to that other place, they're going to join forces again because everybody also wants to take back Winterfell from the Boltons, not
so-
just Jon and Sansa.
Multiply and attack.
Yeah, so I think that that's going to be joining forces to take back Winterfell. So maybe that'll happen at the end of the season.
All right, I like it.
That's my thought on that, on Winterfell.
Okay. So we've got, the brother is, whatever. He's kidnap bait. Hi.
Yeah.
You want him back? Give us things. All right. So there's that part. We did see Arya. We saw more of the play. So we see more of Arya now. Arya's seeing stuff that she didn't see.
Yeah.
So she gets to see the death of Joffrey, which the play blames on Tyrion, the poisoning. And then she's supposed to kill off the actress playing Cersei.
Yes.
And, of course, at the last second, she can't do it.
Which I'm glad, because
Right.
I think that if she would have gone through with it, then she would have been lost.
Right, and I think, actually, if she'd gone through with it, she probably would have become a faceless man, woman thing, and then probably wouldn't have ever joined the show. Like, it's
Right.
like, oh, well, there you are then. You'll never come back to the actual events of Westeros. So this actually drives her back towards Westeros. Although, interestingly, at the end, so what we've got now is, like, showdown. Where, I think her name is the Waif. There's the girl that's been teaching her who hates her.
Yes.
Right,
She's now
is
on a
like,
mission to go find
I
Arya.
will kill you.
Yeah,
And she's gotten permission from Jaqen to go kill Arya.
Jaqen, I love him.
Yeah, like
I do love him. I think he's just such
like,
a cool character.
Well, there's a potential that there could be a fight between Jaqen and Arya. I don't think so, but
I think
it's
he
out
likes
there.
Arya.
I agree. Because they've also set him up to be practically godlike. It would be weird if suddenly Arya killed him. You'd be like, what?
I don't think he could be killed.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty.
I agree. I think
so
he's just gonna let her go.
Yeah.
He's not gonna but the waif. I'm calling her the waif. I'm just whatever. The
Whatever her
wafer.
name
The
is.
wafer wants to kill Arya, and so this is going to be a big showdown.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. And we also see at the very end of that episode, and this is what I interpreted it as. So or not the end of the episode, but the end of that scene. Arya is sitting in this little alcove area, and she's got Needle, so we know that she's like, I'm a Stark, damn it. And then she blows out the one candle to make it all dark. Now, what I'm thinking that means is she's like, I know that the waif's coming for me. I've been training to fight blind, so I'm going to turn all the lights out, so then I'm going to fight her blind. I don't know. That was my thought. That's
it
what I
would
got
be
out of
smart of her to stay and kill the waif instead of trying to run.
Yeah, because then get
Because she
followed.
knows that they'd be coming for her.
Right.
I really do think that she's very important to everybody's story. Because she
Eventually.
she has a part to play in all of
Which,
this.
by the way, okay, I'll just say this, and you're right, but think of this. This will not happen. Although it's Game of Thrones, so it could happen. There's I'm going to go with a 3% chance this could happen. The waif actually kills Arya in a fight, and it's just like, oh, no, that was it. You spent 2 seasons watching her train, and then she died.
Very anticlimactic
Yeah.
death. Yeah.
It's just, she has a nameless death overseas, and we never hear from her again. But that won't happen. But boy,
I wouldn't be surprised by the writers of Game of Thrones wanting to do something like that.
that would probably break the internet if that happened. But okay, so that's finally. I think Arya is definitely moving back to Westeros.
Yeah.
At that, she's on the path, which is great. We'll jump to the ending.
Real quick though, we got a cool flashback through Bran of the Mad King.
Very cool flashback.
That was cool.
Other than Benjen, that was probably the coolest.
Yes, actually getting a scene of the Mad King
We see
being the
King
Mad King.
Aerys going like, burn them all.
Yes.
And we see, and I went to a site that had little frame shots of all those things. There are frames in there of Jamie stabbing him, doing the Kingslayer moment, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
We saw it's not napalm, but whatever the stuff is that they're the liquid fire that they're gonna blow up the town with. We saw the big jugs of that. That was impressive. We also saw Bran reliving the deaths of his various family members.
I don't understand how his visions work.
I know.
Because can he just take over anybody's mind? How is he able to see a vision of Ned's death?
It's a little camera convenient.
Yeah, without anybody being there. Like, I would think he would need somebody else's thoughts.
It's like when you watch like an episode of whatever, like CSI Miami, and they'll say, hey, let's look at that security camera footage. And then there'll be a start with a security camera, and then suddenly you've got like the camera is in the convenience store.
Through
You're like,
the eyes of someone.
How does that work?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. In fact, one of the little shots, I think, is we see like a bloody hand, and we hear like it's connected to Lyanna. I think it's a Tower of Joy moment.
Yes.
So I think we're gonna,
unless the three-eyed raven powers are like all-seeing powers, so you can see anything.
And does that mean does he now know all that? I assume, right? Does he know?
I think he has the power, but he doesn't know how to use it.
Yeah. I mean, is he interpreting it? We see the shadow of Drogon. It looks like going over King's Landing.
Going over, and it's pretty much destroyed. And
so it's like, oh, okay. So I mean, has he? It sounds like he's taken a USB and like just downloaded the history of the world. Like, okay, I got it. I don't know, maybe.
Maybe. It's weird though. I need
how much
them
does he
to
know?
Explain the visions of Bran's.
But that was cool. You're right. The King Era stuff was really, really neat. That's the first time we've seen that.
Yeah, and
so that was
nice. I didn't ever expect to see something with the Mad King, and so that was cool.
Now there is a theory. I don't ascribe to this theory, but people who do would see this and go, that maybe Bran was used, because we've seen him go back and affect the past, or when he called out to Ned, and he's like, "Father," and then turned around. Some people have said that he went back to King Aerys and was trying to warn him, and it's hearing his voices that turned Aerys mad. I don't know. Anyway,
it fits. It's something
because now they've seen Aerys in a connection to his dream, so you're like, but that seems a little far fetched, but it's out there. Anyway, it's a thing.
It's the whole Starks have such an important role in all of this. They don't want to rule anything, but they're important for every other family.
Yeah.
They're the true last rulers of
the show is about the Starks.
It is totally about the Starks, and each child has a different connection to another family. Mm-hmm. They all have something that they're bringing in. When the war finally happens for who's going to be supreme ruler, I really think that it's going to be down to the Starks, who they side with, who they see as the true leader. I think that's how it's going to be decided.
I think you're right.
Who they throw their support behind.
Yeah. They early on we see the Starks, the house kind of stumble big time, and now they're picking up the pieces, and they're going to be really, really instrumental in what happens, what's to come. So
they're like the super PAC of a campaign, of
political season. They're the super PAC.
They're the super PAC.
Get the Starks behind you.
Yes.
Get the Koch brothers, a la the Starks behind you. So Daenerys has this big speech. She gets on Drogon and she makes, talks to all the cows.
Yeah. I think it was something that she needed to do to inspire everybody.
It's just like we all her soldiers maybe didn't know that, but we knew it. Like the audience was like, we get it. You want to go to Westeros and take over, and you got a dragon. We know this. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like as we're like the rest of the season, there's been these kind of big reveals at the end of each episode. Oh no, the Red Priestess is an old crone, and Jon Snow just got up, and Hodor, and all these things, and then this was like, we already know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not there yet. Like, do it. That's kind of why I
just
went,
need
just
her,
go
yeah,
and actually
just get
stop
there
talking
already.
about it.
Yes.
Do it.
It's been 6 seasons of her talking about going to Westeros. And yes, I get she had to build up an army, but she could have built up an army a lot quicker.
Yeah,
than
it's been 6 seasons, and we're almost we're getting near the end of this one.
Yeah,
so
we only got 4 more episodes left.
So she's gonna, obviously the Greyjoys have the boats, and she even brought up in the middle of this episode, like, how many boats do we need? Oh, about 1,000. How many do the Greyjoys have? About 1,000. I mean, she didn't say that, but we know that they have about 1,000 boats. So that's obviously where that's going, but it hasn't gotten there yet. And so it was just kind of more of a pointing out the fact that she's still not going, go, just do it. So yeah, that's going to happen. So that really leaves, there's probably a bunch of things we're leaving out, but the main thing, the Sam Tarly storyline, right? So,
Sam and Gilly, they are so sweet.
That was a pretty cool storyline.
I'd like actually meeting his father to see how evil his father
which makes you wonder
him.
how is it that the rest of the family is so well adjusted? Like, they all seem really nice. I'm like, how do you spend all your days with that guy?
Yeah, he's
like,
a pretty awful human
Pretty awful human being. Although we did hear, as far as his fighting prowess, we heard last season from Stannis, who doesn't really give out compliments. Stannis was like, look, your dad fought against me.
Fought against Robert, and it was the only war that Robert lost.
Yeah, but he's like, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, tip of the hat to your dad. So we know that he has like skill at leading others in combat, but as far as like a dad, he's pretty horrible person.
Yeah, but I like that Sam came back and took Gilly and baby Sam and said, "You, wherever I go, you go."
Right, he was given the choice of like leaving them to keep the baby safe with at Horn Hill with the House of Tarly, but he's like, you know what? No, and he takes the ancestral sword,
which is important.
That's a huge deal, and in fact, I kind of felt like maybe that whole scene was just about him stopping off to pick up that sword.
Yeah.
In some ways, is what that would, because you've got this Valyrian steel blade, Heartsbane.
Because Valyrian is apparently the only steel
and it's what kills White
all
Walkers.
of the realm. Yeah, and you need it, and it stops their swords. It heals, I guess. It does a lot of magical powers.
So yeah, as soon as the dad goes, well, that's the ancestral sword up on the wall. I was like, well, Sam's going to get that.
Yeah.
So
now we know.
But
how
I didn't have time to meet that prediction.
Valyrians.
Damn it! He took it before I could predict he was going to get it. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he got the sword, ran off with it. I assume they're now going maybe to Old Town to do the Maester thing, because I do feel like that prediction's still coming true, where I predicted he was going to meet up with Jorah. Jorah's going to be like, what's going on with my grayscale? Jorah's going to the Maesters to figure that out.
Well, that was the other thing that he, from last season, oh my God, Stannis. Stannis' daughter with the grayscale.
Right.
They said that it was just a bunch of different maesters and magicians and wizards and warlocks or whatever who came and tried all these different treatments, and that's how they were able to stop it. And I think he's going to go he's got to go to Sam. I think you're right when you're saying that he's going to end up meeting with
Jorah and Sam.
And Sam's going to help him stop the grayscale.
Yes.
And I think that Sam meeting Stannis' daughter and doing some research
will be like, oh yeah, there was one person.
Yeah, I think he's going to end up becoming a really good maester, but how long is the program to become a maester?
Yeah, it's just, the history is speeding up so much in this show.
I kind of feel like he should have become a maester 4 seasons ago, so he'd actually be of some use now.
Right.
Right. Is it like a 6-week course? Is it?
It's a correspondence.
Yeah.
I went to DeVry, and now
I am a maester.
I'm a maester.
I have my chains.
Correspondence course. It's like you can learn.
Yeah, I get the feeling becoming a maester is a long process.
It makes it sound like you had to chain and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. There is one other thing. That was one line that was mentioned. It's the King's Landing stuff happened. It was kind of a non-event. Like, it was like, oh my God, they're gonna fight. Nope. And Tommen's like drunk the Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
and we think Marjorie has, but Marjorie hasn't drunk the Kool-Aid.
I don't think
Marjorie's just saying what she needs to.
She's faking it, so then she gets Tommen on board, and she's got the High Sparrow on her side. It'll be easier to get rid of Cersei.
Right.
I think
she's playing a long con.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I believe in everything. Not really. But Tommen, I think, is like.
I think he misses the fact that he hasn't had Marjorie to sleep with.
He sends his dad away.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big deal. It's like, hey, Dad, hit the bricks.
But I don't understand why the people in Westeros are still okay with Tommen being... Everyone knows that Jaime is his father. Everybody knows this. It's very common knowledge now that Jaime's his father. But nobody's there questioning his right to the throne. He's not related to Robert Baratheon.
I know.
And they're just sort of okay with this. They're, that's fine, whatever. We need somebody to sit there. We just need a warm body for now.
That's coming to a head at some point, I think.
Yeah,
There'll be a legitimacy issue.
Get rid of the Lannisters already.
So Cersei is like totally cool with Jaime leaving, which is a little weird, but she's like, go ahead, you got it. I got the mountain, guarding me, and she says, oh, when it comes to a trial, it'll be by combat. So she mentions that in this episode. She's like, there'll be a trial by combat, and I have the mountain.
A trial for, like, when she's put on trial?
When she's put on trial, she's going to choose trial by combat, and she's going to choose the mountain as her champion. This is all, there's a big fan theory out there, and I actually do ascribe to this one. It's called Clegane Bowl. You probably know what it is, but it's basically the two brothers, the Hound and the Mountain, are going to meet up in combat, and it's coming around. In fact, the next episode's title is called The Broken Man. Something like that. And there's hints that the Hound is coming back. I think that Broken Man might be referring to the Hound, and we could see the Hound reemerge next episode. If that's the case, look for some point, whether it's the end of this season or maybe the beginning of next season. A lot has to happen in the next few episodes, but that we could see this duel, this contest where the Hound faces the Mountain. Dead Mountain, whatever. And I think Cersei's so confident that the Mountain's going to win. I feel like the Hound is going to beat his brother. And then what does that do to Cersei if that happens? Like, she's just now lost this contest that's supposedly her trial. So she lost her trial. Does she go to jail for the rest of her life? Does she...
I still have a feeling that the Mountain is going to be around for a while longer.
Okay.
I feel like it's too quick. It's too soon to get rid of the Mountain.
All right.
But I can see, I follow along that theory. I think that might be a season 7 story more. Just that
they may have to we may have to wait in this whole King's Landing thing for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's coming. If not episode 10 of this season, it would be maybe episode 1 or 2 of the following season.
Well, going based off the format, that would be a season 9.
Yeah, but we know there's huge battles coming. I think that's in episode 9. I think the big battle is episode 9.
Yeah.
And then episode 10 might be some of the smaller individuals, and that might be one of them.
And I just need them to figure out already who's going to be in charge. I think Jon Snow and Daenerys are the only rightful heirs to the throne.
Yes.
And they need to meet up already so they can decide between them. They need to have a meeting.
That's where Jorah Sam comes in. Sam knows Jon. Jorah knows Daenerys. Two of them meet up.
He'll bring them together to have a powwow to discuss family business.
Powwow.
Right. Of who's going to... Okay, so I'm older. I should be in charge. But I have dragons, so I should be in charge. Like, I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah.
And I don't think I buy this theory anymore that Jon and Daenerys are twins.
I agree.
I think that they're brother and sister. They're half related, but I do not believe they're twins.
Okay. No, I concur. I think her twin was the Viserys or whatever, the brother she had that had the gold dumped on his head.
Yeah. But it's not Jon, because there's that fan theory that Jon...
There were two babies. Or
Alana, Ed's sister, gave birth to two babies, and Jon was one of those babies, and Daenerys was the other. I don't buy that they're twins.
I think that's,
Yeah, I definitely think that they're half related. But then the fight is who has more right to the throne then.
I feel like since he's died and come back, I almost feel like he's probably not that guy. I know, maybe. But I almost feel like he's like an other spirity kind of guy now, that he'll probably help her ascend the throne, is my thought.
Yeah, I see that happening more than Jon taking the throne for himself.
Yeah.
But then we've also got to deal with the Sand Sisters, who are coming to destroy everybody.
Thank goodness we haven't gone back to them in the
and
last
I
episodes.
think that they might be the ones who take out most of the Lannisters. And then you've got, who else is there? I swear there's somebody else left trying to take back the throne.
I'm sure.
And you just keep forgetting them.
Right. The Greyjoys, and they haven't said they're taking the throne, but they're going to try to hook up with Daenerys.
Nobody's going to take back the throne from anybody. I think it's just going to come down to the Lannisters versus Daenerys. I think that's how it's being set up.
Yeah.
But
and then the Walkers show up and all hell breaks loose.
And the Walker scenes always creep me out. That's
we did see Bran did see Hardhome. He saw the Night's King raising all the Walkers from the last season's big fight.
Yeah.
So he's aware of that now.
It's like he's just an all-knowing vision.
He's Wikipedia.
Yeah, and I don't like it. I need an explanation as to what a High Sparrow Three-Eyed Raven actually does.
All right. Well, maybe we'll get that next week.
Maybe.
Episode 7 awaits. But this was episode 6. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave comments. We'll comment back in Game of Thrones style. We'll do it. All right. Awesome. Anyway, thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
Dork Lords. Bye, everybody.